Josh and Kwab, your go-to NBA podcast. Subscribe on Apple, follow on Spotify, and be sure to hit up the YouTube channel for video content. And now your hosts, Josh and Kwab.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Dime. We had 2 game ones today. Kwab and I will be recapping them both. Make sure you hit the like button. Participate in the chat. We do get your opinions. We do grab your comments. We do talk to you throughout the whole show.
Yes,
we
sir.
love our subscribers. Thank you for joining us. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us today. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Kwab, overall thoughts on this Monday?
Oh man, we had a exciting game in the Western Conference. Not so much in the Eastern Conference. So
Damn right, not the Eastern Conference. Damn right. Let's get started, though. First, let's go with the game that was the most exciting game of the day. That was Wolves-Spurs. The Wolves beat the Spurs 104-102.
mm-hmm.
I said in our series preview, I don't even know how to say this. I said in our series preview that there will be a game where the Spurs are going to lose.
Yep.
And after that game, we were going to look at each other and we were going to say, are the Spurs in trouble? Now, we both picked the Spurs, to be completely transparent. We both picked the Spurs, but I think we both saw this coming. It was just a matter of when the Spurs were going to face some adversity this series, and it looks like it's going to be in game one. First, let's get to the box score. The Spurs beat the Wolves beat the Spurs 104-102. Anthony Edwards, tough AF, man. Play on that injury. What a game. Julius Randle, 21-10. Jaden McDaniels, 16-5 for the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama, weird stat line, 11, 15, and 12. Dylan Harper, 18, 4, and 4. Stephon Castle, 17, 5, and 5. Listen, one of the things we also talked about, too, was that really big lineup. And when I say big lineup, I would say Nas after 3. Because I think that's what changed everything in this game, was taking Rudy Gobert out, putting Naz Reid in, and then having Victor Wembanyama on Naz Reid. Naz in the corner. Now he's outside the paint. You have a shooter out there. You're able to spread the floor. Wemby can't cover as much ground, even though he did. I mean, the man had 12 blocks, but the offense seemed to find itself. Anthony Edwards, whatever he was in, was an absolute beast, man. I mean, he on one leg, apparently. I mean, when he was taking shots, he was getting in the lane. He was landing. It did not look right. I thought he was going to hurt himself at any moment. I thought Julius Randle had a very schizophrenic game. Dr. Randall, Mr. Hyde type of game, typical Julius Randle game, some good, some bad. To me, the X factor in today's game was Terrence Shannon Jr. I mean, just his speed, his ability to get to the rim. It's exactly what you need when you're going against a team that is anchored by Victor Wembanyama guarding the rim. Get up the court, go as fast as you can, get to the hoop before he gets there. And Terrence Shannon knew the assignment. He was fantastic today. Missing Ayo Dosunmu. Anthony Edwards on one leg. You go into San Antonio in game one and you steal one. You barely escape. And we'll talk about the last minute or two. But Kwab, I want to get your overall thoughts on the game first.
Oh man, it was a fun game to watch. To all your points, man, Terrence Shannon Jr., his impact in terms of just the way he gets down the court so fast and he was attacking the rim. And what's funny enough, man, the Wolves did this while missing so many freaking free throws. Oh my goodness. The whole time I was like, wow, they're up by 5 and they're shooting like 40% from the free throw line. At that point, I was like, this is crazy. But when we previewed this game, man, we talked about what the Timberwolves would have to do in order to beat a team like the Spurs. And a part of it had to do with being the more physical team. And we might have used the word that I think it rubbed a couple of Spurs fans the wrong way when we said that they might have to try to punk the Spurs. And when we in that we meant that they would have to bring the fight to the Spurs. A lot of teams don't do that, especially with Wemby down there. But we saw this game how many times the Wolves attacked the rim, even though Wemby was down there. It's the reason why Wemby ended up with all those blocks. We see a lot of teams do the what do we usually call it, the hell nah, every time Wemby's down there.
Hell nah, just back out. Nope.
Like go back out. Like, no. Like, no, not here. But there was a big effort to like attack the rim. There were many times where, of course, Wemby changed shots even though he didn't block it. But you see one thing, you see the free throw disparity, and it's 12. They shot 21 free throws while the Spurs shot 18. And for a team that usually has the size and the players that attack the rim in the Spurs, so them only shooting 18 was a glaring to me. It kind of stood out. I think that Wemby settled for too many threes.
Too many, way too many, man.
Way too many. I think he settled for too many, especially when you see the end of the game where he was easily getting to rim and finishing. I think we saw what makes the Wolves special, though. A lot of people don't put this team in the elite class of the Western Conference. And we've always questioned that because when we watch this team, we know what they are on the defensive side. We've seen it so many times. We're like, yo, this team is tough as heck. And when you're right, they're tough as heck. And we're looking at a team that is still down. Like you said, Anthony Edwards is not fully healthy. Dante's out. Obviously, Io's out too. But to get this type of contribution from Terrence Shannon Jr., get contributions from Mike Conley. Mike Conley started and put in 12 points. It's not something I know a lot of people who don't watch the Wolves will expect, but he was so solid throughout the whole game. And the coaching change by Finch, who utilizes his bigs the correct way in terms of putting Naz Reid in the corner and kind of spacing out the floor when they went 5 out, open up for the Wolves. It's a great win for the Wolves, man. I mean, you go on the road, game 1, you get a W. It's a series, right? It's a series. That's how it starts. It's a series. And I think like you said, when we both said there's going to be a game where people will be like, hey, man, what's going on with the Spurs? There was a lot of questions, and that was thrown at the Spurs. I don't think they got the answers right this game at all.
No, I mean, they almost won the game at the end. I mean, Champagne hits that 3, and all of a sudden we're having a different conversation about how they came back in the fourth quarter. Here's a comment here. Mitch Johnson had a brain fart in the end, 6.8 seconds left, and you don't call timeout as diabolical work. Wemby gave us nothing on offense except 0 of 8 in missed threes and a missed free throw late. Now, let's talk about that no timeout call. I actually didn't mind it, man. You are going against a Timberwolves team who every time they set their defense throughout this whole game, you had issues scoring the basketball. So you're going to call timeout to get them set on defense. You're going to have Chris Finch put in whoever he wants in on a defensive end. I think that he should have communicated better with his team because they looked confused when they first got the ball. And there was like 3 or 4 second period where they didn't know that they were pushing it or calling a timeout. But the reason they've been scoring most of their points, I wouldn't say most of their points, but a lot of the times they were successful was in transition or was in the secondary or was getting to the hoop before the Wolves could set their defense. So for me, I understand what Mitch was thinking. And they got a good shot out of it too. I mean, to me, your best 3-point shooter, open look. I mean, typically that goes down, and he was having a good game. I thought Champagne was awesome today. Not just, shooting the 3 ball, but his activity on the offensive boards. So for me, I'm not mad at that shot. I don't know if you call timeout and get a better shot than that with the defense set up. For me, it was more, I had a problem with Victor just taking as many threes as he did. The Wolves played drop coverage. They basically said, we're going to drop when Vic sets a screen, and we're going to make Vic beat us on the outside. They let him take those threes. They let him shoot, and they said, you're going to beat us on the perimeter if you're going to beat us at all. And he just couldn't today. He had hoops in the first half of the game where he was driving. Even they were awkward. They were awkward floaters or whatever they were, but he's still bigger. He still used his size, to get to the rim and convert. I would like to see him go to the hoop a little more. He did in the fourth quarter, to give him some credit. He did change a little bit and go to the hoop a little more there. He had a dunk, at the end of the game there, being aggressive. But that's the Victor Wembanyama I think that the Spurs are going to need if they're going to advance in this series. You can't just chill on the perimeter and shoot threes. Now, there will be a game probably where he hits a few of those because Wemby can shoot. You can't leave him open all the time. You're kind of just rolling the dice here and hoping that he doesn't shoot. But to me, that was the game plan. It was just kind of like, we'll play drop whenever Victor, sets a screen. We'll protect the rim. We'll make sure that Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle don't really get going in the mid-range, even though they both shot pretty well from deep today. And we'll take our chances with that. And they did a good job with it, man. I thought the Wolves played really well today, undermanned. And the Spurs, for as sloppy as it was a 2-point game. Like they had a chance at the end, and they just could not convert.
Yeah, they had a chance, but watching the game, it felt like anytime the Spurs would make a little bit of a run, the Wolves would be right there to counterpunch, and they'll counterpunch hard. Like they were right there. I mean, again, I think the Wolves are severely underrated in a lot of people's eyes, right? A lot of people don't give them credit, especially how good they are defensively. Uh, there is a reason why they were able to dismantle the Nuggets, and people at the end of the day, people were like, "Well, it's because Jokic and all the I've seen all the excuses," but not a lot of credit was been given to the Wolves, and seeing how well they're playing now doesn't really surprise either of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope Anthony Edwards, like, he's okay and doesn't re-aggravate that injury because, like you said, watching out every time he landed, I was like, "Yo, are you good?" But him just having Anthony Edwards come off the bench and bring that type of spark and just the consistent scoring he was able to do was great. It came to a point where the Spurs finally decided to start doubling him, and it felt like a little bit later than they should have, especially when he got into rhythm really quick, man. I mean, Jalen Clark, he only played 7 minutes, but his impact defensively it always
Yeah.
shows, like, always
Agreed.
shows, man. And again, Bones Highland didn't have a good game in terms of scoring, but his energy always feels like it changes the game. The Wolves are good, man. This is not, like we said, it's not gonna be a cakewalk of a
No,
game, like, off a series. I think people kinda might have thought that it might have been, but this Timberwolves team is good, so this win doesn't really surprise us. We obviously, regardless of what we picked, we still understand that the Wolves are good, even though you're hurt. Like, they are a really good team.
All right, let's go to some comments.
Yeah.
Randall Bully Ball. I've seen that a lot, man. I miss Julius in some aspects. Sometimes I do. But he was a little erratic for me today. Not gonna lie. We got some Wolves fans. What's up, Victor? We'll get to the Knicks later. Let's say it with your chest. I'm so glad the Spurs had to taste this humble pie, bro. They've been really saying sweep. I haven't heard a Spurs fan say sweep. In fairness to our Spurs fan subscribers.
Yeah.
And even 100%. No Io, no DiVincenzo. And to be honest, they should have been up double digits. Yeah, they almost went up double digits there at the end. But I do think that this is going to be a long series. This comment right here, Spurs look like a team that hadn't been in the playoffs much. Now, that's the whole experience versus non-experience factor. I think going into the series, we said it in our preview that, the Wolves are very tough. They're going to beat you up. They're going to slow the game down. And I think it's going to be a challenge for the Spurs. I think for the most part, they fought back. I mean, Wemby having 12 blocks, the Wolves were just a team that challenged Wemby at the rim. They don't care. They don't care. They were one of those teams like, I don't care. It's Wemby's. We're going to go at him. If he's going to block 12 shots, he's going to block 12 shots. We're going to put pressure on the rim. And honestly, what that does, it drags Wemby even closer to the rim in situations when the Wolves are in the paint. So you can drive and kick to Nas Reed. You can kick to Jaden McDaniel when he's on Jaden McDaniels. Like it does that. So keeping the pressure on Wemby, I actually like that a lot. Super Monty, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Thumbs up. Go Wolves. We did the timeout question. I say it's the right call. Do you think it's the right call? What Mitch did?
Yeah, I think it's the right call, but I think at the same time, though, they should have been they should have known what to do at the end of the game, right? Like, they should have been more aware because they did waste a couple of seconds, which are vital, but they still got off a good shot. I was still yelling on my TV, holy crap, because he got your best 3-point shooter. Pump fake got an open 3, like and it was a game-winning shot, and he missed it. But I mean, you calling the timeout, you're allowing a team that has defensively, like you said, been locked down in the half-court set. So now you allow Chris Finch to put in his best defenders, maybe throw in a zone or something different just to throw you off. Like you get it and go, and you got a good shot. That's all that matters. So I think that the no timeout was the right call.
Got another comment here. Shout out from Mexico. What up? That's another country. We're just checking off countries in these lives. I love it. Wolves punched Spurs in the mouth. Spurs couldn't hit threes tonight. Spurs needed this one to grow, and I see them bouncing back hard going forward. I agree. I think they come out strong in game 2. I think this is going to be a long series, like I said. Wolves fans will be sick to their stomach by the middle of the week. Wemby had 11 and Fox had 10, and we lost by 2. How many games do you think that will happen? De'Aaron Fox was awful. I mean, for the first 3 quarters of this game, he just was. I think he had a better fourth quarter for sure. Wemby shot selection again. We've said that, we had a problem with that. I think Wemby needs to be better offensively, and I think he will be. I think Mitch will make adjustments, and I think you're going to see a lot of Wemby going to the rim next game for sure. And then we got here. All the credit to the Wolves for the win, where I feel the experience matters most is the adjustments made. Less experienced teams don't always make the right adjustments. Yeah, I mean, and it's one game. Like you make adjustments throughout the series. So we'll see what Mitch does. I expect Finch to use that lineup without Gobert a lot more. I'm not saying Gobert's not going to play in this series. I think he's going to play in this series. I think he has value, but I do think, you're going to see Naz Reid a lot in this series because it's going to drag Victor Wembanyama out of the paint. He can't cheat into the paint with Naz Reid chilling in the corner waiting to shoot a three. He's just too good. He's just too good. And if they keep attacking the rim, Victor's going to have to stay there because, you can't cheat towards the 3-point line. So I'm excited for that. Now, Kwab, before we go on to the next game, Wolves-Spurs game 2, who you got?
I'm gonna say Spurs. I think they're gonna try to even up the series. It's not gonna be an easy game. I think taking this loss is kind of like another wake up call for a young team like the Spurs. Like, hey, this is not gonna be an easy series. Like, it's not gonna be a sweep. Like the Portland series was tough for a little bit for them, but for most part of that series, they were able to control it. Like even when the Portland was up by like double digits, it didn't matter. The Spurs were confident they would win that series. This feels a little different because you're going against a tougher team. Like we said, that's going to challenge you continuously. But I think that taking a loss like this is very important for a young team because you got to learn from it. You got to learn from the losses, see what you can do different. Maybe you don't see Victor taking so many long shots and actually being aggressive to the rim. So I think I have the Spurs winning game 2, especially since it's at home. Who do you have winning game 2?
Yeah, I got the Spurs as well. I think there is some validity to that comment where you had bad offensive games from De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama. You shot a lot of threes and you hit a lot of them. You had 10 threes. I think you shot 36 of them or 38, something like that. I'm not looking at the score, the box score right now. I just think they play better at home. I think, Wemby is more aggressive to the rim. I think Fox plays better. The Wolves are still undermanned. Now, I don't know if Ayo's playing. Anthony Edwards, let's see what minute restrictions he's on. But I do think, these are two teams that are going to have a long series. And in order to have a long series, Spurs got to win a couple games. So I think game 2 belongs to the Spurs, but I do think it's going to be a tight game. And I think they're going to learn from this loss. Speaking of learning from the loss, Kwab, we didn't learn. We lost again. PrizePicks. Darn it.
Yes.
You took Karl-Anthony Towns more than 0.5 3-pointers made. He hit 3. This screenshot was before the game ended, but I took De'Aaron Fox more than 14.5 points. He had 4 at the time I took the screenshot because I gave up. I'm like, all right, this is over.
It's not happening.
Didn't happen. If you want to play, download the app, play $5. You get $50 instantly in lineups using code HMA. The link is in the description. It's a good time. Kwab and I, we don't do this seriously. We do it for fun. So just join us. It's a good time.
Join us, having fun.
All right, let's move on. I want everyone in the chat to do it with me. Everyone in the chat. You know what's coming.
That's all he's been waiting for, fellas.
Damn.
Shout out to the people that said I didn't give you a good enough damn. I didn't give you a good enough damn when y'all beat the Hawks. So damn.
The Knicks beat the 76ers 137-98. Jalen Brunson 35 points. OG Anunoby 18 points. Mikal Bridges effed them picks. Players of the game, baby.
Relax.
Jalen Brunson. You heard me, Kwab. 76ers. Paul George had a great game. He had 17 points. Jalen Embiid 14 points. And Tyrese Maxey had 13 points. It was a beatdown of epic proportions. Listen, I'm going to get my ish off really quick because I'm a Knicks fan. And I'm going to enter fan mode for like 2 minutes, guys. I promise I'll get back out and I'll be objective. But for 2 minutes.
Let's go. Go ahead.
I can't tell you how much it bothered me how many analysts or media personalities picked the Sixers to win this series. And I think it's just because they beat the Boston Celtics. I think everybody had this inflated version of what the Boston Celtics were. And because the Sixers beat them, all of a sudden the Sixers are a team to beat. Nobody, and I mean nobody, thought the Sixers team was serious outside of a few podcasts. We did, by the way. We always had him as a dark horse. However, the fact that all these media analysts are saying, oh, Philly, I think they just have a better roster than the Knicks, and, they're going to have a hard time. Like 2 weeks ago, none of y'all were talking about the 76ers. Now, all of a sudden, they win 3 straight games against Boston. Granted, without Jason Tatum in the 7th game. And all of a sudden, now they beat the Knicks. Give me a break. Give me a break. Yeah, also this. Shout out Richard. Sixers have no bench, and you're playing 6 guys. Stop it. Now let's talk objective basketball, Kwab. I don't think the Sixers have an answer for Jalen Brunson, and I mean that seriously. They tried everything today. They tried hedging and recovering. They tried dropping. They tried switching, and he just destroyed everything. Now, granted, he was on today. I don't know if he's going to be as on for the rest of the series. However, all their big men, they're going to have to drop. They don't have anybody who can switch on the perimeter. It's either Drummond or it's either Embiid. And Embiid is going to have to go and drop because he can't switch. He's not quick enough to hedge and recover. You're going to have to find a way to stop the Jalen Brunson pick and roll. They tried running offense through Karl-Anthony Towns early in the game, and I thought the Sixers did a fantastic job very, very early, denying cutters, staying with cutters, not falling for any split action. Karl-Anthony Towns was just holding the basketball in the air, not trying to get by Embiid. They were trying to run the same offense they ran against the Atlanta Hawks, and it wasn't really successful. And then Mike Brown was like, wait a second, if we just put Joel Embiid in the pick and roll, we'll be all right. And that's exactly what happened. And the Knicks were just unstoppable from there. I mean, we even saw Mikal Bridges run some pick and rolls as a ball handler, and he was hitting shots in drop coverage as well. I thought this was the best game of the season for Mikal, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that, on both ends. And he's had some pretty good games the past couple of games against the Hawks. His defense and Tyrese Maxey was phenomenal today. They got a couple turnovers trapping Maxey off of the pick and roll. I also thought Maxey was a little hesitant today. He didn't really look to score. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the Sixers came out and their game plan was, we're just going to ISO Joel Embiid, which I think was awful. I think the offense has to run through Tyrese Maxey if they're going to win this series. You can ISO Embiid all you want. He can draw as many fouls as he wants. You're icing out everybody else. And right now, you really have 6 playable players in this series. You got to get everybody in rhythm. And the one way to do that is pick and roll with Tyrese Maxey. Joel Embiid can still, pop. Joel Embiid can still roll. You can still create offense for others throughout that. The Knicks were content on playing Embiid straight up. And yes, he drew fouls on Cat. He drew fouls on Mitchell Robinson. And they did double every once in a while. But they cut that out once Paul George hit a couple threes. Yeah. I think that they got to turn to Maxey. They have to have him run the offense. That's their only chance here, because I don't know how they're going to guard the Knicks on the other end. And I mean that because Joel Embiid cannot move. He can't move. The man is just older. He's slower. His knees hurt. I don't know what's going on, but he's a defensive liability. Everybody talks about the Knicks playing 4 and 5 with defense, maybe with Jalen Brunson. Well, the Sixers are too. They are. And the Knicks are going to pretty much exploit that all series. I think the Knicks are the better team. I don't expect them to blow out the Sixers every game. And I think game 2 is going to be a very important game, because for me, if the Knicks win game 2, I think I'm going to breathe a little bit and relax. If the Sixers win game 2, then it's like, all right, we got a series here. So yeah, I think game 2 is going to tell us a lot. The Sixers just came off of a highly emotional game 7 in which they had to win 3 straight games. So I'm not looking too deep into this, but overall, I wouldn't say I'm surprised by how much they won by, but I'm not surprised by the Knicks actually winning this game by double digits. I do think they're the better team. And I do think a lot of people are just underestimating this team. They've been kicking the crap out of everybody, or the teams that they've won, or the games that they won this year in the playoffs. If it wasn't for game 2, everybody would be talking about this team as if they're contenders. But because they blew game 2, no one believes in them.
I'll never believe in the Knicks. But I'll never believe in the Knicks.
I love it.
But this is a great game by the Knicks, man. I think that them running the pick and roll, making sure to put Joel in the action every single time was just the right move. I think that was like the best part about that watching. I was like, that's what you have to do. Like regardless of what's going on, you have to put that man in action, just because even if he was healthy at the end of the day, right? It makes him tired if he has to guard every single possession. Even if it's Jalen Brunson being the ball handler, or like you said, Mikal. But my worry, and I said this when we did a preview, is that the Sixers don't have that defender that can take out Jalen Brunson out the game, like that the Hawks had with Dyson Daniels, or the Pistons have with Thompson. Like they don't have that guy where you're like, your job is to face guard Jalen Brunson, make it tough for him the whole day, and to negate him. And they don't have that. So you have Jalen Brunson get into rhythm really early, and it happens. And like you said, they tried running offense through Cat, which I'm also like, that's fine, because you need to involve everybody else. But the fact that they went into pick and roll was very important, because it just wasn't simply ISO basketball, which to me it works, but also it takes out the rest of your team, because everybody's just standing around waiting for something to happen. So involving everybody, win the pick and roll, and put in Embiid in action was just the right move. And the level of defense the Knicks were playing was just top notch in terms of slowing down Maxey. even when they were showing 2 at Embiid, which they had to because Embiid is going to draw fouls to get the ball off his hands. A lot of the passes he made was to a couple passes was like Kelly Oubre for open shots, and Kelly Oubre wasn't hitting consistently. Paul George was solid to start out the game, but I think that you either with Embiid, you either guard him 1-on-1, but you have to know about your defensive principles and not reach down.
Yeah,
because a couple of times it was like when him drawing fouls on Cat, I was like, you didn't have to reach down. You didn't have to like reach down to get that foul. Just play straight up. If he hits it, he hits it. If he doesn't, move on, get the rebound, move on. So I mean, it was a great game by the Knicks. Over by the third quarter, again, like solid all around. And like you said, they have the deeper bench. The Sixers essentially play only 6 players. They played 7 early with Edwards just so he can do the hack and Mitch.
Yeah.
At this point, Mitch, please, like, I don't know why you don't work on your free throws, because
he does, man. He does work on his free throws. See him
working. He doesn't work on it as much as he works on his handle. That's a whole other thing. But
I don't know why he even bothers working on his handle, but whatever. Go ahead. You're
just
right.
Be in the gym, like, I'm like, bro, they don't need you to cross
11th graders in the gym.
Yeah, they don't need you to do that. They don't need you to do that, man. But it was but seeing that, I'm like, yo, just the fact that they felt the need to take him out the game kind of slowed the momentum down, because at that point early on, I was like, oh, it's a blowout. It's going to be a blowout. And that the hack and Mitch kind of slowed it down, but it was inevitable for them. I mean, great win by the Knicks. They're so good at home, and OG Anunoby, to me, all playoffs has been Michael Jordan. It's been ridiculous. Some of the shots he hits and the way he plays on the defensive end, it's just great. And I feel like he doesn't get enough credit. And anytime I see OG go off in a game, I always go back to how Raptors fans were like, anytime OG was like off in a trade, they're like, it's not enough. He's so much better than this. And we're like, no, we don't really see it. I don't know what you're talking about. When he got on the Knicks, everybody was like, man, OG's really kind of good, man.
Yeah, man, I'm a big fan of OG Anunoby. Him and Josh Hart are my favorite Knicks for sure.
Yeah.
I thought Josh was good today too. I mean, just his defensive energy, pushing the basketball. He's somebody who doesn't have to score to affect the game. His defense has been incredible these playoffs. I mean, getting Josh Hart to play that type of defense when you already have OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges playing the way he played today. I mean, that's the vision, right? And the problem with the Knicks, which we said all year, which the critique you have, is that we just don't see this all the time from the Knicks. It's not consistent, right? I don't think it would surprise either one of us if the Sixers came out and won by 12 in game 2, right? Because it'd be like, oh, that's
and that and I joke about it a lot with you because you're my friend, you're my friend, but that annoys me because I'm like, you clearly have a level of like play you can hit every time you play. And we can see you as like a team that can come out the East. But then the way you guys falter and playing consistently would drive me mad if I was a Knicks fan. Like literally just drive me mad. I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing? But simplifying the game in the sense of like, hey, put Embiid in action, move the ball, off ball movement, double when you have to, and push the tempo. We can outrun this team because they don't have the horses. Like you get a W out the way, man. I mean, it's a great game 1 win, especially at the Garden. That's what you want. So I mean, I know you're happy. You were happy.
I'm happy, but it's only one game. Like for me to be happy, they have to win game 2 because if they split going to Philly, now it's like okay, it's danger. It's danger time because to me the Sixers are way scarier than the Hawks. I mean, the Hawks, to me, you know how I felt about the Hawks. Watching that series, I was laughing after game 2, like arrogantly, because A, I knew they would win the series, but B, I was just like, I watched this game, and they were just so much better than the Hawks. And I'm not worried. Even when they lost game 3, I'm like, I'm not worried at all. And I was proven to be right. Now with the Sixers, it might be different. You lose game 2, and I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen in Philly. So I think game 2 is imperative that the Knicks get. Let's go to some chat. Leone Brooks, what's up, Leone? Let's go, Knicks. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. We got Super Morty Man. Nice win for the Knicks, but only game 1. Facts. I agree, Josh. I don't know if you agree with me, but yes, I am right. That is right.
But I'm right.
Joel Embiid cannot run that offense. I think that's what he's talking about. Yeah, I agree. I think everything has to go through Maxey because, everything's just stagnant. Like, he might get Cat into foul trouble or Mitch into foul trouble, but at the end of the day, everybody else is going to be stagnant. You need your players, all of your players to contribute, especially when you're playing 6. Tony Rivera, what's up, Tony? Y'all hit the like button for these balls. Wow, boys. It costs nothing else.
Appreciate you, Tony.
Oh, man. Leone, Kwab, you're a hot mess. I don't know what made her say that, but yeah, he's a hot mess. He's not rooting for the Knicks. He's a hater.
I'll never root for the Knicks. Never.
Richard says, you hate to see it. The Knicks are clicking. Oh, come on, Richard. I know you're a hater like that. Come on, Richard.
You hate to say who said about Trent Warford?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Not enough.
Morty, man, not enough to beat the Pistons. We'll talk about that when we get there. All right. Let's stay with the Sixers here. Let's stay with the Sixers. A lot of OG love here.
Yeah.
OG's a beast.
Yeah.
OG was on fire. Did I miss the Trent Warford comment? Can you pull it up?
It's
I got it. Morty, man. By the way, the Sixers Trent Warford, someone Kwab's Brooklyn Nets should have never gotten rid of.
We didn't get rid of him. He was a free agent. Tyrese Maxey's his best friend. That's why he went to the Sixers. Like a lot of people don't know.
Really?
Tyrese Maxey's like his best friend. So unless Tyrese Maxey was coming on the Nets, which wasn't going to happen, he ended up going to Philly because of Tyrese Maxey. If you look back at there's an old interview where Tyrese Maxey is talking about VJ Edgecombe, and he was talking about that they were working out, and he asked anybody to come to workouts, and it was just him and Trent Warford, and VJ Edgecombe was the only one that showed up. That's how he knew VJ was going to be dope. So yeah. That's a little insider information for y'all. So That's why Trent Warford should get some playing time. Like he really should get some playing time. Like I don't know why he's not in the rotation.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, but against a team like the Knicks who have forwards and stuff, like maybe throw him in there. I don't know. So that might be something they need to look into.
Don't hit their balls. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. Bad. That's dangerous. Yeah.
All right, we slipped up a bit, but you know what? That's gonna do it for this preview. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with the Knicks. We're going to look forward to tomorrow's game with some headlines. Real talk or fake news, Kwab? Are you ready?
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. First headline. Real or fake news? Pistons and Cavs playing for the second place in the East. Real or fake news?
Fake. So fake. It's so fake. That's so fake. Personally, and you're gonna say I'm a hater, I think the winner of the East comes out of this bracket. That's just because the Knicks are not in that side. So that's no. In all seriousness, though, I think that either of these teams could give a run, could get out the East also. So there's no. I think throughout the course of this season, we've said there's so many teams that could come out the East, and the Pistons and the Cavs are two of the teams that we think have the possibility of coming out the East and going to the finals. So you're not playing for second in the East. So I don't think so. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, this is fake news for sure.
Yeah.
This is absolutely fake news. Yeah. I've seen some, and maybe it's because I'm from New York. I'm a New Yorker. We have friends who are Sixer fans. We went to college in New Jersey. Like half of our college friends are Sixers. So my timeline is flooded with like Knicks Sixers.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing personally, anecdotally, a lot of like winner of the Knicks Sixers is definitely going to the final. And to me, it's like, all right, guys, like, do we forget that the Pistons like won 60 games? like I know they won against the Magic, but like, did we really forget that? Like, come on. The Cavaliers are another team. Last year they won 60 games, weren't healthy at all year. They get James Harden, who I know a lot of people don't trust in the playoffs, but he does make their basketball team better. They do have a deep bench. They do have a lot of players that they can go through. I think, honestly, like you can make a case for all four teams that are left. It wouldn't surprise me if one of these four teams made it out of the East at all.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're all evenly matched, but I do think there is a world where the Knicks go to the finals, Sixers go to the finals, Cavs go to the finals, Pistons go to the finals. I think the Cavs and Pistons right now are kind of getting a bad rap just because they went 7 in their respective series. But I do think, for instance, the Pistons showed a lot of resiliency. You're down 3-1. Everybody's talking crap about you being the worst number 1 seed of all time. You come from behind a 24-point deficit in game 6. You know, you could have packed it in, but you didn't. And, you know, you beat the Magic in 7 games. And for the Cavs, any 7-game series is tough. And, you know, they were tested, but they came out, you know, on the other end, winning that series. So I think this is fake news. I'm not sure if everybody else has seen this. This might be like a Northeast headline, but I had to put it in there. I had to address that.
I think the other thing is that, in all honesty, though, those two teams don't get enough national media. like when it comes down to it, right? I think that we've seen that with a lot of our subscribers who are Pistons fans and Cavs fans, and they talk about our teams are really good. How come they don't get the same amount of love in the national media? It doesn't happen. It feels like a lot of people don't watch them enough to be like, hey, this team is pretty good. The most we saw with the Pistons were like, hey, this number one team might be fake. And me and you were sitting there like, you got to hold on, right? Like,
I know what I saw, bro.
I know what I saw. I know what I saw. I know how this team, when they turn on that switch, I know who they are. So let's relax that. So like, yeah, I think that plays a part in it though. But yeah, man, that's fake news.
Yeah, Super Morty Man, fake news. Agreed. Agreed. We're with you. 7-game series for the Pistons will only make them stronger. And I agree with that too. I think if you go through some adversity in the playoffs, I think it's good for your team. And I think overcoming that and moving on, I think that's going to bode well for the Pistons. I'm really looking forward to Pistons-Cavs. Let me guys in chat, let me know what you guys think. Who's going to win game one? Because I can see that series going either way. You know, I don't think anything would surprise me at all in that series, except like a sweep. I don't think one team's going to dominate the other. I think it's going to be a long series, but you know, I think that's 50-50, maybe like 55-45 Pistons. Yeah. I think I'm leaning towards the Pistons, which is why I took them in 7.
What is that? Go ahead.
What?
I was going to say super is another comment I read, but now go ahead with this one.
Okay. Media narratives are sensationalist and exaggerated first take culture. All the teams been getting strays. Yeah, you're right.
Sucks.
Except the Sixers for some reason, but whatever.
Whatever. That was the comment for Super Morty talking about 2 former Brooklyn Nets playing against each other. I know. Trust me, I know. And you're coached by former Nets head coach Kenny Atkinson, who I mean led one of the most fun teams that we had. You know what I mean? I get it.
Don't you miss him?
I do. Well, his nickname was Cocaine Kenny. Yeah, I mean, we went from Cocaine Kenny.
I never heard that.
Oh,
no, on the streets.
Nah, that's because when Kenny would get turned, Kenny Atkinson has calmed down a lot since he left the Nets.
Yeah,
because he would go on these like he would just have by like the second quarter where like he's about to get a technical, he would be just sweaty, just shake, like his jaw would be moving. We were like, yeah, he's on something, brother. That man needs to relax.
All right, we got one more headline. Let's get to it. Look at this graphic. I like this graphic. All right, here we go. Lakers, just another warm-up for Oklahoma City. Kwab, is this real or fake news?
Feels like real news. I don't think a lot of people are picking the Lakers to win this series, which I mean, if you are, cool, good for you. I don't props to you, but like
I saw a couple TikToks today.
Yeah.
The Lakers, yeah.
I mean, I saw a couple of comments. I saw a comment when somebody in our preview video said that you're a Lakers fan and they know that they have no chance. They have no chance to win this series, man. I think it might be a competitive series for in some aspects, but it feels like a mismatch. It just feels like a mismatch. A lot has to go right for the Lakers to win this series, if not just to win a game, because the OKC is a very, very tough team. So this is why it feels like real news. But no, man, it's the playoffs. Anything can happen. You never know. Bronny James might go for 50. Like it's
okay, relax,
crazy.
relax.
Okay,
relax.
I'm chilling. I'm sorry. I'm chilling.
I'm gonna say real news. Okay. And I know every game's supposed to be competitive in the playoffs, and the Lakers have ended the season well. Listen, they don't have Luka, I know it didn't matter against Houston, but it's gonna matter against OKC.
Yeah,
you're gonna need ball handlers. You're gonna need creators. I just don't think they're gonna be up to the task of the point of attack defense that the Thunder have. I mean, even with Luka, I still think that this series would have went 5, maybe 6. You could have convinced me. So without him, I just don't see an Austin Rivers coming off of an injury being that effective against your Alex Caruso's and Casey Wallace's of the world. I don't see LeBron James at his age being able to carry a team past the finish line. Rui Hachimura is going to have to stay hot from 3. Marcus Smart's not going to have to turn the ball over, and he's going to have to handle the point of attack defense. DeAndre Ayton's going to have to battle with Isaiah Hartenstein. Good luck with that. Yeah. I'll take Isaiah all day over someone like DeAndre Ayton. I mean, Isaiah's motor is incredible. Good luck guarding Chet, from 3, and good luck trying to score on Chet at the rim. I just feel like without Luka, you don't have that player who can give you a superhuman effort that this roster is going to need to take him over the top. Yeah. I'm not saying every game is going to be a blowout. I'm not saying every game we're going to come on this, show and be like, damn. I think we'll get one damn, maybe two.
Maybe three.
But yeah, I just don't see it personally. I do think that warm-up might be a little harsh, but I think if you talk to Thunder fans and just reading some of the comments that we've had throughout the season, I think they're just looking forward. Like, bring us the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals. Like, that's the vibe I get. Is we want the Spurs. We're looking for the Western Conference Finals. That's it. And maybe it's a mistake to look past it, but as long as the players aren't looking past it, doesn't matter what the fans are thinking.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree with that. Let's look at some of the comments.
Let's read some comments here. Richard says, sound real to me. Funny story. Good job. Good job, Kwab.
Oh, appreciate it.
Leone says facts. All right. Let's get this chip. Let's go. I am begging for Knicks subscribers. We have almost 6K subscribers, and we have like 12 Knicks fans.
those are OKC colors.
By far our lowest.
Those are OKC colors, brother. Those are OKC colors.
Oh, God.
Those are OKC colors. Those are OKC colors. That's not a...
The Knicks colors, too.
Those are
Well, OKC would go blue-orange.
Oh. Orange and blue skies.
Carbon, I'm sorry for misidentifying you as a Knicks fan. I got excited. I saw orange and blue. My eyes lit up.
He was like, oh, my God. Maybe you are. Maybe you are, and I'm just hated. So, I don't know. You let us know.
Carbon, let us know. We don't take nothing for granted, but Thunder up, baby. Leone. See, Leone's cool because she's a Thunder fan and a Knicks fan. So she has like two stakes in this. She wants to see a Thunder Knicks finals.
But she knows where her heart is. It's Thunder. She knows.
That's Thunder.
That's Thunder. Yeah.
This is an interesting fact. No defending champion has made it past the second round since 2020.
Well, that's about to change, buddy.
Throw that stat away. That's going to be relevant for another week and a half. Baby.
Well, it's 2026. It's about man. That's funny. That's actually a crazy stat. Oh, wow.
LeBron will end OKC. He's going for number 5. I love LeBron so much.
So do I.
One of my favorite players ever. I don't think that's happening. Look, if it happens, I will be the first. I will dedicate a whole hour live stream apologizing to LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. That happens.
Same. Look, if LeBron is able to pull this off against a team with the caliber of defense that OKC has, hands down to him. I don't even care if he wins the chip. That's like, if you're able to beat OKC, that's like winning the chip. Because we don't want to I feel like sometimes we sugarcoat it, but OKC should mollywop the heck out these Lakers, and that's it is what it is. Like, they're just a fantastic team on both ends of the floor, especially defensively. So, I don't see it going any more than 5.
Yeah, and then also, like, throughout the whole season, the Lakers struggled with really athletic, quick on the perimeter type teams, and that's what OKC is. Like, I just don't see a world without Luka again, where they have enough offense, to overcome maybe the turnovers and points of turnovers that the OKC Thunder are going to get. I just think too much has to happen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our show, Kwab. That was fun. Chat, thanks for joining us. That was a really good time. I don't know when our next live is going to be. We'll see. As long as the games are stacked up like this, I think it is better to go live. Kwab and I like to do game recaps and kind of like hit you with it right away. So you can get your fix it immediately if your team wins. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, as the week goes on, we'll keep you updated with our schedule. Definitely be doing recaps for all or most of the games for sure.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. We don't have power rankings to look forward to anymore. We haven't done a dime bag in a while, but definitely recapping. Let us know what you think in the comment section, of course. Listen, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for interacting with the chat. Kwab and I were very hesitant to do lives after games just because, we're competing with The Ringer, and we're competing with Hoops Tonight, and we're competing with Nerd Sash, and we're competing with, probably No Dunks. We're competing with all these other shows. And we didn't think that people would hop on our live, but we definitely appreciate you guys for sure. It's been a great time here. We have a interesting group of different fan bases that oddly root for each other when they're not playing each other, and that's dope to us.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, let's continue to do that. And we definitely appreciate you. So you can follow us every the Dime NBA. I got to get our socials going better than I've been doing. I have not been dropping assets. Got to get that going. We'll get that going. I'm Josh. He's Kwab. See you tomorrow.